Welcome into another video. Me and my boy Ryan Cash Sharma are here to take you through the entire 2025 season for the Chicago Bears, where they won the NFC North, won a playoff game, and fell short to the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round. It is the first year of head coach Ben Johnson. They finished 11, or technically 12-7 if you want to include the playoff record. 12-7 overall, a really good season for the first year of Ben Johnson, second year of Caleb Williams, better than we were expecting. And here we are. Ryan, just a quick recap of how you felt after last night's loss to the Rams and how you felt overall in the season.
Yeah, that one hurt. That one's going to hurt for a while. We are so close. I thought you could make the argument that we kind of outplayed the Rams in that game. Looked a lot better than I thought we would defensively, at least, and then just left so many opportunities out there. So that one's going to hurt for a while. But overall on the season, yeah, I mean, I think I would have taken it before the season if you told me we'd win 12 games, 2 of them coming over the Packers, 1 being a playoff win. I mean, just a really, really great rookie season for Ben Johnson and second year for Caleb Williams. And you can just see where this thing's going. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. If somebody told me in the preseason that we won a playoff game over the Packers, we beat the Packers twice, and we lost to the Rams, who in the preseason I thought was the best team in football. I still kind of do believe that. I think the Rams are maybe the best team in football, and we lost to them in overtime in the divisional round.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I would call that an extremely successful season. And coming into the season, we're going to talk about the quarterback now. Coming into the season, I feel like my biggest thing was, okay, are we going to leave the second year of Caleb Williams knowing that he is the franchise guy or not? What's your answer?
Definitely. I mean, there's not even like an argument to be made against it, I feel like. And I think after last season, I mean, you heard some of like the morons, so to speak, we're calling for Tyson Bagent. And there's always that like whisper of like, is he the guy? Maybe they'll be drafting a quarterback again. Like you always saw some of those like Arch Manning jokes and stuff. But I think like that's completely shut down now. Caleb Williams is the franchise. I think he showcased so many different things that you just can't teach. Like, I mean, the arm talent's the obvious one, but just also like the intangibles, the clutch, he doesn't get rattled by pressure. Just things like that are so hard to like coach. I think the things that you can coach are the things that he's bad at right now, which is the accuracy. So, and think about this, like last season, you would say like his biggest weaknesses was the sacks and like the pre-snap operation. And I think he cleaned that up in 1 year. I mean, like his pre-snap operation in the beginning of the year, it wasn't great, but now there's no problems with it at all. He's operating a very high-powered, complicated offense. And then the sacks went from 68 last year to like 24. So that's like, I mean, you couldn't even dream of that. If you told me that, I would have thought you were crazy going into this year. So I think something similar could happen with the completion percentage next year. And that's what's really going to take him to the next level.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get his numbers pulled up on the season. As you can see there, a lot of attempts, 5th in the NFL, a lot of yards, falling only 58 yards short of that 4,000-yard mark, which the Chicago Bears are short on. Yards per attempt up from last year, still not great. Obviously, that just comes with completion percentage as well. The attempts are higher, completion percentage is lower. Your yards per attempt are going to be lower as well. Down on the completion percentage, but I mean, you see the number of 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions with the league's lowest interception rate. It's crazy that he almost matched that total though in the playoffs alone with 5. Regardless of which, I couldn't agree with you more. I never once wavered off of Caleb Williams. Obviously, he was the guy over the Fields, the truthers, all of that. It was never a doubt in my mind that this was going to be the guy for the future of this franchise. And I think that we're literally just looking at 2 biggest things in the offseason, which before he even mentioned it in his press conference today, end of the year press conference, like those were, I mean, it was just clear and obvious, and he even knows it. That's the most beautiful thing about it, is he knows what he needs to work on. It's his footwork, and I feel like that's a major part of his accuracy is 1, the footwork, and 2, the touch.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing to it, and both of those things can easily be fixed. I feel like even as the season went on, his touch got so much better. It almost looked to the point where I was starting to think like he's sailing these balls like on those last few games of the season, and I was like, oh my God, he just sailed it. And I'm like, oh no, I just haven't seen him throw with touch all year long. the anticipation there, the timing is there. Obviously, there's still so plenty of miscommunications in this very detailed offense with the wide receivers. I think a lot of that is just year one kinks in this offense, getting on the same page. It's so hard to be on the exact same page always, especially like this late into the season. You would expect it to be a little bit more, but still, and just one year in this brand new system, being a very detailed system, I think like we're only seeing an ascension of this offense in a whole. But overall for Caleb, touch and the touch on his balls and the footwork, I think are the major part for his key misses, his gimme misses. And I think that we're going to be looking at a clear top 10 quarterback once those things are fixed in the offseason.
Definitely. And I think the downfield accuracy was like the biggest surprise that came late in this season. I remember thinking like last year and then the beginning of this year, I couldn't think of one deep ball he actually connected on, like in structure, like in his entire career. Like it was so bad. I know he had that flea flicker to Luther Burden, but that to me, that's not like an actual like in structure play. That's kind of like a trick play. But like otherwise, he hadn't connected on any of them. And then he hits that one in overtime against the Packers. And then from there, it's just like he was perfect on those passes going forward. The Cleveland game was incredible. We remember the San Fran game. That was like the coming out party, so to speak, where he was just incredibly accurate on every level of the field. So yeah, I just think he somehow found that like mid-season, and that's going to continue to carry forward. And it's really just now like the short and intermediate accuracy that has to improve. And like you said, footwork, things like that. And I have no doubts that he's going to get there. And then, like you said, he's going to be even better than a top 10 quarterback once that comes, in my opinion.
No, 100%. If we can just see that accurate or that completion percentage jump up a little bit, and then the drops from the wide receivers as well aren't helping them any bit. The higher number of throwaways aren't helping him in any way, shape, or form either. I mean, he had the most yards in the NFL this year, lost on drops. We're talking about a 4,000-yard passer. Just give us like 10% of those yards lost, and we have a 4,000-yard passer. Overall, though, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly on the quarterback position. I think Caleb Williams is the guy. I expect him to work on the footwork and I mean, we saw, like you said, the deep ball improvements over the course of the year, and even in like the beginning of the season, like you could tell that he improved like on the intermediate level, like that 30, he was nailing some like 30-yarders, like he was accurate down the field. He's so good at layering his throws, especially with anticipation. He's so good at getting it over the linebacker's head. I just think that there's too many non-ball knowers out there, is what I like to call them, who don't have any clue what they're talking about when they break down his game. Oh, he can't read a defense. He can't throw with anticipation. They're just calling him like Fields 2.0. And I'm like, are you sitting here and you can't play within structure? Are you sitting here and actually watching these games? Like actually, like this guy this guy can play within structure. Like he's proved it time and time again this year. Does he have a lot of? I feel like it's just because his off-script moments have been so wow that they sit there and think like, oh, this guy can't complete a pass from within structure. Like that's why I genuinely believe that is the case. Obviously, there are some things that Caleb needs to clean up from within structure. I would say he's a little bit more inaccurate from when he is within structure, but it's improved. Like how many of his deep balls were from in the pocket this year? I mean, the one against Green Bay in overtime, he took like a step to his left just to get that little clean pocket there. I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't know. I just think that he throws the ball with anticipation. This is everything that we wanted when we were complaining about Justin Fields. Justin Fields threw with no anticipation. A guy would hit the break in his route, and then Justin Fields would throw the ball. This guy's throwing pre-breaks. He's throwing layered throws. I think he's phenomenal, and he's doing things pre-snap, like we talked about, that guys aren't, like half the league isn't even doing what he's doing pre-snap. Most of the offensive minds have just it already programmed in. Caleb is calling guys out, checking mics, everything.
That's why it's going to get so much better over time too, because of how complicated this offense is and just more comfortability that he has in it. It's just going to keep on improving. I mean, I think a lot of like what you could kind of chalk a lot of the inaccuracy up to maybe he has a lot on his plate. He has to think about all these different things he has to handle at the line of scrimmage and all that, and maybe it just takes him out of his comfort zone. So I think completion percentage is going to come with just experience in this offense. And I feel like a lot of his bad stats too are like directly tied to his completion percentage. Like people like to throw up all these graphs with like all these different labels on the axis, but like it all really comes down to completion percentage. Because if you bring up his passer rating, which is low, it's like a big part of passer rating is completion percentage, and all these other numbers, QBR and like I think EPA a little bit, but like there's all these random like advanced stats that like all of it, and it's like you can show them all and show that Caleb Williams is like bottom half in the league in all these numbers, but I think it all ties to that accuracy and that completion rate, which, like I said, I expect that to go up, and then in turn everything is going to go up for him.
Yeah, he was what? This is like what I've always heard is like the go-to stat my whole life. Like NEA, what is that called? The NEA stat. I always think of
It's like average yards per attempt or something.
Yeah, average net yards per pass attempt. He finished like 11th, which used to be like the standard for quarterback evaluation, like always, like for the last 5 years, and then it just became like extremely analytical over the last few seasons with all these stat guys and non-ball watchers. You know, we've always claimed ourselves to be a little analytical, but we definitely lean that boy nice, and Caleb is that. He's nice. He's nice.
Yeah. Definitely. A lot of people are like coming around to him. Even if the stats don't look good, it's these wild plays that just get everybody's like jaw on the floor. And they like, he made 2 throws this playoffs where I think like 2 of the best throws in recent NFL memory. And he only has played 2 playoff games. So I think that's more to come.
100%. A lot more to come. Let's talk about the weapons now. Let's get into the weapons here. You got Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Colston Loveland. Let's talk about the pass catchers first, so then you can throw Cole Kmet in that mix as well. Big rookie campaigns from Colston Loveland and Luther Burden. I mean, how about that, huh? Nailed that draft.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I love just like the youth and the young weapons we have going forward with those 2 guys in Rome, and even like Jade Walker to me flashed a little bit to the point where I think he can be like a wide receiver 4 on this team. So I just like a lot of young weapons in there. And I just think like the odd man out has to be DJ Moore, because you have to think like he's getting paid the most money on this team. And I genuinely think he'd probably enter next season as our number 4 option. And I think he has like the 4th best connection with Caleb. Like him and Caleb don't really get along all that well off the field, in my opinion. Their chemistry on the field isn't great. I mean, there was games this year where DJ Moore didn't even have like he had 1 catch for like 7 yards. And these would be in games we played really well. Like that Niners game, didn't he have 1 catch for 7 yards, I think? So it's like, clearly he's not like an easy guy to throw to. We saw that on the last play of the year offensively. And like, I just think there's no reason to be paying 25, 30 mil to a guy who's probably the number 4 option because those rookies looked so good.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the odd man out, it's got to be DJ Moore. I've been disappointed with what I've seen from Rome Odunze. The drops have been infuriating. He just doesn't look like the guy he was out of Washington yet. I think obviously the injury has, definitely been lingering on him. It's a very, serious injury that, could get worse, and he's been playing through it. I'll give him props to that. But a lot of inexcusable drops this year, a lot of boneheaded mistakes. In the second half of the season, I mean, I loved what he was doing in the run blocking game in the first half of the season, but we saw him miss a couple of key blocks last night. Like, that's just execution. I just don't think he was executing at a high level. But overall, I still like him trending forward. I don't know how much at this rate, though. Like, do I ever think he's going to become that 1,500-yard guy in this offense with how much of a breakout we've seen from Luther Burden and Colston Loveland? Like, that's where I kind of lean. Like, I think Colston Loveland could be a perennial, like, 1,200-yard tight end. Like, genuinely. Like, he looks that good. He looks the part of your Brock Bowers, your Trey McBride. What he did, I mean, PFF graded him as the highest rookie in the entire class.
Yep. I'm still high on Rome, though. Like, I think the foot injury was a big deal. And I think he was clearly, like, a lot slower on film. And I think the drop issues, though, are definitely a problem. Like, that was something that showed up, I think, even early in the season on some of those, like, Caleb extend plays and, him just not really having the strongest hands. But I think he showed, like, first 5, like, before that injury, first 5-6 games, he had, like, 500 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns or something. Like, he was on pace for a monster season. And I think he still should be the wide receiver 1 on this team. Like, I know a lot of Luther Burden hype, but I think Rome is more of, like, that do-it-all X receiver. He's got the size, speed. He can block. Like, he can use him as kind of like a Puka, right? Like, we were doing that early in the year. We were using him on like those insert blocks and then running routes out of that. Like, he was doing everything. I think he's kind of like the coach's pet. Doesn't really have any off the field issues. Is kind of says all the right things. And I think Luther Burden had trouble with the playbook. I know he was a rookie, but I also think he's just more of a, volatile personality, so to speak. So I like Rome going forward as like a reliable guy.
But I mean, yeah, I definitely love Rome Odunze. I just think from what I've seen on tape this year, I just think Luther Burden has it. I don't know. Like, I'm excited about the both of them. I think both of them are going to be massive impact players on this offense. I don't know if I've ever watched Luther Burden get tackled on the first attempt. Like, that guy can make any guy miss on the field. He is a bulldozer as well. Like, for his frame, I mean, everybody, like, he might look small on the field, but we have a big offense. Like, we have big guys. This dude's 6 foot 215. Like,
that's why I think DJ's got to go, because it's like everything you do with DJ, those like wide receiver screens and get the ball in his hands, like you can do that with Luther. Like Luther Burden is like DJ Moore if DJ Moore was like coached like well out of college. Like I just think DJ Moore has a lot of bad losing habits that have been instilled in him just from all those years in Carolina and Maryland and all those losing years, Chicago for the first few years. So I think Luther Burden came into a really good situation where he's been coached really hard by Antoine and Ben Johnson. So I could just see him completely taking over DJ Moore's roles in terms of like these manufactured touches, these screens, even as a running back. Remember when we were using DJ as a running back early in the year? Like that could be Luther Burden. Like there's generally just, in my opinion, no reason DJ should be on the team next year.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into it a little bit. We're going to talk about future roster and free agents and whatnot. We'll get that in a little bit. And then, I mean, I just don't see him. And it's the lack of effort, really. It sucks because he does have a lot of good plays with this franchise so far. Like, he did show up in some really big moments, but there's way too many lackadaisical plays that we've been talking about now for 3 seasons of him just not going his hardest. And I mean, we're talking about the biggest moment of last night's game, whether you want to call it a good ball or not from Caleb Williams, or if it should have been thrown, or like even just like a situational throw. Like maybe it shouldn't have been thrown situationally. You know, you're 15 yards from field goal range. It's 2nd and 8. You don't need to launch the ball 30 yards down the field. I can understand that. But you also have DJ Moore jogging his entire route, talking. I mean, there's literally a clip from last week. If you have leverage on the safety, go for it. Caleb explaining to all his wide receivers, if you have the leverage. Does he have the leverage? Maybe if he's running the route at full speed, but he's not. Mm-hmm. He's jogging. Caleb expected him to be one way. DJ expected to go another way. We've seen them off the page many times this year. I mean, there's some very high moments with the two of them. I give DJ Moore a lot of credit. I do think he has battled through some injuries, and he gets banged up. He comes back out 2 plays later. But at the end of the day, the lack of effort it's abysmal. The money that he's getting paid to do what he is, I think I'm in full agreement on moving on in the future.
And remember last year when he like just completely ran off the field, that one play with Caleb Williams extending? It's like that play still sticks in my mind sometimes, where it's like this guy just doesn't show the effort, and it's really all over film too, just even on plays where he doesn't get the ball and you don't necessarily see it. Like if you watch some of the all 22 breakdowns, like he doesn't show a lot of effort on his routes. So I definitely agree. I think and like you said, he just doesn't have good chemistry with Caleb, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because I think there's like a bit of like a generational gap with those two, right? Like Caleb's got great connection with all the rookies because they're all the same age as him. He came into the league with Rome. The rookies like Colson and Luther, Jade, like these are some of his best friends on and off the field. DJ Moore's got like a family, right? He's got like a wife and kids. He can't hang out with Caleb off the field. He doesn't have time for all that. So I just think there's like a bit of like a generational gap, and these two just haven't really been able to build a connection because they probably don't put in a lot of time off the field.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Let's get into, do you want to just go ahead and dive into because we're kind of talking about who we should keep. I kind of want to talk running backs a little bit, but I think a lot of our decisions here in our breakdown is going to come off of like what we want to do towards the future. I kind of want to dive into that, especially defensively. So I think we should at least just get these guys up here right now, the free agents, all of it, because I mean, that's a big part of it defensively overall in the year. I mean, we just got taken away from our pretty much only strength. But at the end of the day, you also can't knock for what they did last night against the Rams. They were really good against the Rams last night. I think weather probably played a factor into that. Overall, really hard fought. But let's go ahead and look at some of this. We're talking about DJ Moore here. This ain't great. He has a large cap number in 2026 coming in at 28.5. You would save $6 million cutting him. Dead money would be pretty bad. Now, if you trade the guy, On the other hand, you would only have to eat 12 million in cap or in dead money, and you would save, I believe, 18. It was, I believe the number was 18 or 15 in cap space. What do you think for that kind of contract that the Bears could get in return for somebody like DJ Moore?
I think honestly, I don't think it makes sense to trade him unless it's for a package for a player. Like, I don't think I would trade DJ Moore just for like a 3rd round pick. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Like you said, the dead money they would eat. Like, yeah, they would save that money, but they would also eat like $12 million. At that point, why wouldn't you just like restructure his contract or something? Like, there's no point in just trading him for like a 3rd round pick and then taking a 3rd round pick of like a D lineman when we've seen this team miss on those picks, like Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter's and Shamar Turner's. It's like, I think DJ Moore's got to be a part of a package to get a game-wrecking pass rusher. And I think that's both of ours like number one priority for this team. It has to be to do what the Packers did last offseason. You have to get that guy. And I think DJ Moore is at least somewhat of a valuable asset for some of these teams that have those players that the Bears might be interested in, like the Titans or the Raiders. I could definitely see them wanting DJ Moore to pair with their young quarterback, especially the Titans. Like, I think the Titans could really use a receiver. I mean, Cam Ward was playing by himself out there. And I think back to when the Bears got DJ Moore, the whole point of that trade was, yes, you got the draft picks, but they also wanted DJ Moore on top as the sweetener because they wanted to pair him with their young quarterback in Justin Fields. So I think trading DJ Moore would have to be in a package to one of these teams that, you know, have a young quarterback, and then we could get back like a Jeff Simmons or a Max Crosby. I think that's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. It just seems like, I mean, Jeff Simmons, I think definitely is more likely than the likes of Max Crosby. I think of Max Crosby in the level of not on the same tier as, you know, you're necessarily Michael Parsons. I'd maybe put him in that exact same quarter he is. But I just think, you know, if it's up to me, I'm going Myles Garrett, number 1, maybe in a league of his own, Michael Parsons, number 2. And as of right now, honestly, you could argue Max Crosby 3. Like, watching that game against the Bears, like he was a game wrecker, dude. Like that entire game, he was just stopping the Bears offense single-handedly. Pass breakups, interceptions, sacks, pressures, all of it. He was just a complete game disruptor. It was nuts. So I feel very unlikely that a guy like that is going to get traded in back-to-back seasons. I feel like those are I know that the league's kind of moving towards that way, but I mean, you also got to think in the Raiders situation here. Like, you're getting your number 1 overall pick franchise quarterback. There's definitely a lot of moves that need to be made, but you have a weapon in Brock Bowers and Ashton Janty. You got to put some time into the offensive line. DJ Moore definitely would help that. But, like, don't you also kind of want to maybe have a pass rusher there for him? Like, to help him out a little bit? Like, I don't see him getting moved. Simmons, on the other hand, I very well could.
I think it has to be Max Crosby's decision, right? Like, if he's fed up and he wants out, like, yeah, they're probably not going to move him on their own. But if he's sick of losing and, you know, obviously he doesn't really care about draft picks. He said that before. Like, I don't really care if we get the number 1 pick or not. I don't know if he'd be that bought into Fernando Mendoza or whatever head coach they bring in. He just saw what happened to Pete Carroll. So I could see him wanting out. But yeah, you're totally right with like how they treat him there. Like, as someone who's been to 2 Raiders games in that stadium, like they treat him like he's a god there. Like, he has his own like pregame intro. They bring him out last after like the entire team's come out, gets the crowd hyped. Like, he's just treated differently there than, and in my opinion, like that owner, Mark Davis, I'd be surprised if he got rid of him. But like you said, you got to make an offer at least, and you got to try to get him because you need that game-wrecking pass rusher. Even though that wasn't the reason we lost this game, in a way, like our entire game plan was altered by the fact that we didn't have a pass rush. Like, there's a reason why we kept blitzing Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker and basically everybody. It's because we didn't have a game-wrecking pass rusher, so we had to. So I just think that you get someone like that and you can play more straight up defense, that it really help the secondary out and it'll help everyone out.
All right, yeah, I agree with you. Let's go ahead and talk about the defense now overall. We'll keep this up here, but this is where I really want to transition. I want to touch on DJ Moore one time. Let's go ahead and talk about the defense, though. Dennis Allen, what would you say overall on the season? How you feel about Dennis Allen?
I think he showed up in the biggest game for sure. I think he was creative throughout the year with trying all these different blitz packages. I didn't think he was like Eberflus at all, where he just sat into a soft zone the entire year and prayed that they got pressure. I think Dennis Allen took the initiative and he tried some stuff, and a lot of it didn't work because these guys aren't very good, to be completely honest. But overall, I'm pretty happy that he's going to be our defensive coordinator for the next couple of years, I would imagine. And nobody's going to take him as a head coach. So I like that pairing for the future. I think we just need to get him as pass rusher.
Yeah, I maybe don't let him draft the pass rusher because his history isn't the greatest at that. But Ryan Poles' history isn't the greatest at drafting defensive line either. Can somebody? I'm trying to think who could come in and help draft some fucking defensive linemen. That's why we should probably just trade for one.
Just trade for one.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you. I think Dennis Allen made the best of what he could. There was a few moments in the season where I was getting frustrated, though. Like, there was a lot of times where he started to play soft because he was getting smoked on the blitz, and it was just like explosive plays were happening left and right against this defense. And then next thing you know, we're playing too soft, and these guys are putting up 8-9 minute drives, and I was absolutely losing my mind. With the team, though, like how they handled Tyreek Stevenson was a little bit weird. I don't care. They showed up in two big moments in the second half against Green Bay, number one, and then the entire game against the Rams, number two. He put the team in position all year long to take the ball away. They didn't do it very well in those last few games of the season against some of these better offenses, which could be another reason why we lost some of these games. You know, they were taking the ball away at a very high rate, and then they just didn't. At the end of the day, though, I'd probably give him like a B+ for what he kind of dealt with. You know, maybe just a flat B. I like the guy. I think that he's not going anywhere anytime soon. But if things start to stay out and, you know, we can't really get the best out of this defense moving forward in the future with improvements, then I'm going to be a little bit more worried for sure.
Yeah, I see like a total rebuild kind of happening with this defense, in my opinion, going into next year. I mean, when you think about it, like, I think our cornerback room is probably the only one that's set. Like, I think you let Nahshon Wright go, and you replace him with Zoff Frazier, Terrell Smith's coming back as well to replace like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But otherwise, it's like you have your three starters, the three starters we thought we were coming into this year with. Jalen Johnson's got to get healthy. Kyler Gordon's got to get healthy. And then I think Tyreek Stevenson should start next year. I think he played pretty well yesterday. And I think in general, he has still a lot of potential in this league. So I would be completely fine with running back the corner room of Stevenson, Jalen Johnson, and Kyler Gordon. I think that's the only position group that should be safe, though. I think we need a new safety. I would like to bring Byard back, but I would like one new safety to replace Brisker. I would like two new starting linebackers, and I would like probably two new starters on the D line. So there's going to be a lot of turnover on this team, especially the defense.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I mean, the entire year, especially in that second half of the season, I've been thinking overhaul. Like, I've been thinking complete overhaul. Like, yeah, you're stuck with Sweat, and that's cool. Like, it's all right. I think that he has flashes, and I think maybe somebody on the other side of him would really probably do nothing but benefit him. Maybe somebody inside that can take away put a lot of focus on the interior. Yeah, that's going to help him out a lot. Overall, though, he's not overly great. He's not making insane money, so it's not the end of the world. Like, he's not making top-tier pass rusher money, but he's in that top 15, and he's probably not a top 15 guy, if we're being honest with you. He's probably floating in that range. The rest of the defensive line outside of Austin Booker can go. Like, I really like they can go, really. Gervon Dexter, who I was a fan of for a long time. I wasn't a fan of him when we drafted him, but I think in his first year, he kind of showed some flashes. He has not taken a step forward in any single way, shape, or form. I hope that they don't look at his like 6 sacks that he has and think like that's any case for. I mean, he's still extremely slow off the ball. He's not great in the run game. I'm not a fan of his whatsoever anymore. I'm done with him. Grady Jarrett, just a miss of a signing. I don't know what we're going to be doing with Dio Odenigbo. You can't probably cut him because of the dead. I mean,
both him and Grady Jarrett are going to be there for next year, I think. I think the way that Poles did those contracts, like they have 2 years. I think they're basically like 2-year contracts. I know that they both got like 3 years, but the second year you can get out of it. But we're stuck with them for next year for sure. Yeah,
and that really does suck because I want them off my team. I mean, I like what Grady. I know he, was a leader in the locker room, and he's going to be back, and he's probably going to be a leader. But you need to really change it up in there. Like, you need new guys. If you're not going to trade for somebody, you got to land somebody in the draft. We're not going to talk draft tonight. we're not deep enough into our guys yet, but we'll come back soon with that. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see Kevin Byard brought back. Yes, I
For
mean,
sure.
I think with the season that he has and the impact that he has on this defense as a leader, it's a no-brainer. He wants to come back. There's mutual interest. Obviously, money's going to be an issue. But I will say this, the Bears say they only have $4 million in cap space, which isn't great. They have no future money down the line at all. No restructured money. If they did like a whole bunch of restructures, they could get up to $88 million in cap space.
Yeah.
Like there's so much work to be done with this roster that I'm not really worried about it in any way, shape, or form. But you also got to take into account Darnell Wright is coming on for an all-pro season. You got to have to maybe pay him at the end of this year. I mean, it's not like you maybe have to pay him after his third season. That's when he's due for a contract. Do you jump on it now, or do you maybe wait another year?
Yeah, that's why I think next year has got to be like the year that we go all in. Like it's our cleanest year in terms of like rookie contract for Caleb Williams. Maybe the next 2 years, but like yeah, Caleb Williams on the rookie deal. And just a ton of room to operate in terms of restructures. Like you said, we don't have anything kicked down the road. We didn't start restructuring anybody yet. So if this is our first year of doing it, we can create a lot of space. I think Kevin Byard does have to be brought back. Like you said, he's the guy that does like all the pregame speeches. He's the leader of the locker room, and he had an all-pro. He had a first-team all-pro season, didn't he? Or was he second team?
Yep. No, he was first team.
Yeah, so that's incredible. I don't think he's going to be that expensive because he's 33. Probably just like a 2-year deal, maybe, I don't know, 5 to 10 mil a year. I don't know how much he's going to get, but either way, like I think he's got to be back. Jaquan Brisker hurts though, because it's like he was a really good young player for us in his first couple of years, and then he just got hurt, and then he has the best game of his career in his last game as a Bear probably. And that part of it hurts, but at the same time, I don't feel safe with him. Like he doesn't really like this year at all. This year he didn't, even though we were like number one in takeaways, I don't feel like he showed up at all in that department. Did he even have a takeaway this year?
I don't believe he did.
No, yeah. So he was kind of invisible all season, and then just the injury issues too. So I would not feel safe with giving him a contract, but good for him for playing his best game because he probably just earned himself a lot of money from some team.
Yeah, I would agree. I would be. I mean, if they were able to bring him back on like a cheap deal, I'd be like, whatever. Because I know he is like he's got a mouth on him. He's a problem starter. Like he's a good defensive player to have in terms of that aspect. But I do think that he gets cooked a lot, and he's become more and more of a liability as the years have gone on. I think it was mostly just because of injury. I mean, there was a time there where he was phenomenal in the open field and tackling. And now I feel like he's constantly just missing guys and catching up to guys way too late. He's not even on guys anymore. Like really, it's not good.
I would love to draft like a safety in like round 2 or 3. Like you see so many star safeties that come out in those like rounds. Like what Tyler Newbin a few years ago, Antoine Winfield was a second rounder. I mean, there's some studs that go in those rounds.
Xavier Watts, Nicky Mamori, 2 guys in this class right now who are playing ball at a very high level. I mean, I think in the 2 mock drafts that I did for the Bears last year that I posted on YouTube, I think I drafted Xavier Watts in only one of them. But I think in probably the mock drafts that I did all year long, like the 50 that I did for the Chicago Bears, I drafted Xavier Watts, and I guarantee you half of them.
Yeah, I remember.
Like I was super high on Xavier Watts. He goes to Atlanta, has a great season. Like him paired with, Kevin Byard this year would have been awesome. He's a ball hawk. He's got his nose for the football at all costs. He's extremely smart, and I would have loved that. And it sucks because we don't have him, and now he's a Falcon. There's a few guys. I mean, Zacchaeus, goodbye. Durham Smythe. You want to bring back Durham Smythe?
I mean, sure. We ran a lot of 13 personnel, so I assume third tight end is going to be a priority.
Might as well. I probably don't see anybody on here. Maybe Dom Robb.
Yeah,
Dominique Robinson.
He had a pretty solid season, but he's definitely more of like a depth piece.
Oh yeah, like give him like a
minimum contract.
Yeah, give him a very minimum contract to bring him back for like 2 years. Yeah, I could get behind that. Overall, I think we need I just think we need an overhaul on the defensive line. If you had to predict who's starting from this current roster right now, do you want to get the depth chart pulled up and maybe do that?
Sure.
Like let's look at the roster currently right now, and if like let's take a look at who we think is going to be starting on this roster next season. Let's start with the offense even.
Okay.
zoomed in here for the folks.
Well,
I think that you could argue bringing back all 11 guys. I mean, DJ Moore, obviously, I think he's maybe looking at the only one, but you do have an opportunity with DeAndre Swift to save another $8 million in cap space. Do you feel comfortable moving off of DeAndre Swift after the season that he had, maybe getting out early and looking to upgrade, or no?
I'd let him play out his contract. He only has one more year anyway, and I think he had a great season. There's not really an opportunity to replace him. It's not like we're going to have a ton of draft picks or money in free agency or anything like that. So, yeah, just bring back Swift. He has only one more year anyway, so if it's not good, he's done. So,
yeah.
I think though, like
behind that.
Like you said, that like I think you don't really have to touch much of anything offensively, like other than a DJ Moore trade and then probably replacing him with like a free agent, like a wide receiver 3 or drafting a receiver. Like everybody else is like set in stone to me. The offensive line might need a left tackle to start the season. I don't think Joe Thuney's going to start at left tackle next year, so put him back to guard, and then maybe you start out with Benedict until Trapillo's healthy. But I could definitely see that being like a vet deal, maybe like a 1-year deal to some veteran left tackle, just so you have somebody there before Ozzie Trapillo comes back. I feel like nobody's really given us the seriousness of that injury, so I don't know what it really is. But if I would assume he's not going to be ready to start next season. So left tackles may be a concern, but that's more of a free agency move. Definitely not a draft pick.
So that's where I was going to go with this. Do you want, like, would you be upset if somebody fell into their lap at 25? We're not going to get into players, but maybe like a Fano or somebody like that of that level falling into their lap at 25. Are you upset if they feel like they have their franchise cornerstone left tackle sitting there in their lap and they select them?
Well, I'm upset if we're picking at 25, to be honest. Like, I want a trade, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see why you would do that, because I feel like Ozzie Trapillo showed that he could be the franchise left tackle. I mean, he was incredible in pass protection. Don't think he was that bad in the run game. Definitely not great or anything, but he's just such a stout pass protector as a rookie. And I mean, I don't know how serious that injury is, but I assume he could get back from it. He's really young, so I don't see why you would take a left tackle. That just seems like a luxury pick. Like I said, all you need is a 1-year stopgap before, not even a 1 year, maybe like a half-year stopgap until Trapillo's back. So I wouldn't mess around with not wasting, but like using a first rounder.
I do think that we need to figure out what happened with his injury,
because
really if it's a complete tear, then we might actually need to consider looking at a left tackle. Like the success rate of those guys coming off of a complete tear is bad. It's not good. It's like one of the hardest injuries to come back from. If it's a partial tear, that's no problem. That's like a.
Didn't Josh Simmons though have that full tear from the Chiefs in the pre-draft process?
I don't know if he had the full tear. He might. If he had the full tear, then I mean, good for him. He's a success story. And I know that, the medicine is a lot more modern, and I know the numbers we're going off of like the last 25 years in general. Like, we're looking at that in a completely different light. Like, you tear your ACL and it's like, it's almost better for you at this rate. Like, you're good. You're back. You got a whole brand new knee with the modern medicine.
I remember when that shit ended Derrick Rose's career back in the day.
Yeah. Back in the 80s, you were actually done. Like, you never played basketball again, or football again. So, like, yeah, but we need to know, because that could be very serious, and then we might have to look into that for a little bit. If it's not a complete tear, then yeah, I think you're fine. Maybe you even throw Thuney out there for like a game or two, or you hope Benedict improves. But Benedict's a free agent; he probably isn't going to be back next year. Maybe they bring him back on like a cheap deal, like we talk about, like with like a Dom Robinson or there. I think Braxton Jones is also a free agent. I'm not 100% sure on that. He was a 2022 pick, and
Braxton is. We're not bringing Braxton back. I could definitely see Theo coming back. Like, that's definitely one of like our guys that would come back for cheap. I don't see the rest of the league being all that interested in him, but I could be wrong. What happened to Kyron Namagashi? Is he still on the team? I don't see him here.
Did he get hurt?
He might have been put on IRI.
Practice squad? Or we put his
oh, there he is.
Oh yeah. When did he get? I don't even remember. When did he get hurt?
I don't know how he got hurt. He never saw the field, but
no. Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably a lost cause. I don't even think we got to consider that. But let's go scroll back up to the offense there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you're looking at a situation where there's at least a 50% chance all 11 starters are brought back.
Everything should be on the defense, like every draft
Mm-hmm.
pick,
Let's look
almost
at the
every free agent
defense. Yeah.
signing.
Let's look at the defense now. And then we do have a few guys as well who could be key players that are on the reserves on defense. Not a lot, but think about Noel Sewell, Shamar Turner, TJ Edwards, Dio Odenabo. Those are 4 defensive players who
Yep.
at some point had impact on this defense or was expected to have impact on this defense throughout this season. And then, oh, God damn it. And Zoff Frazier there. Zoff Frazier as well. That's 5 players right there. Not necessarily saying that Zoff Frazier was expected to have impact being a 5th round pick, but highly touted guy, extremely athletic guy, a lot of interceptions. Pretty sure he had the most interceptions in FBS last year. There you go. There you have it. You know, you're kind of looking at like a potential like an Austin Booker. You know, when he came in, it was like, hey, this guy showed a lot of raw talent. What can he do about it? That's kind of how I'm feeling about Zoff Frazier.
Terrell Smith too, right? Did you mention him?
Yeah, Terrell. Oh, yeah. See, look, that's all the defense. Yeah, Terrell Smith as well. Terrell Smith showed a lot of promise when filling in over the years.
I really liked him. Yeah, so I thought with Al Harris, he could have taken a big step forward. So that's why I'm like, Nahshon Wright to me is like the most obvious let walk because he's going to command some big dollars. And then you got Tyreek Stevenson, you got Zoff Frazier, you got Terrell Smith. It's like there's no need for Nahshon Wright. And I think the cornerback room is the most set out of any group here. I think just taking a look at this, like I would say Grady Jarrett has to start next year just because you can't move him. You're probably not going to get 3 new starters on the D-line. Montez Sweat's going to start. But I definitely think you can replace Gervon Dexter and you can replace Austin Booker at least as like a full-time starter. Austin Booker obviously still going to be heavily in the mix as like a third pass rusher, but I wouldn't say giving him 100% of the snaps next year, whatever he was at. He was almost at like 100% snap rate towards the end of the season. Like that's not going to be the case. I think you can get a starting edge and a starting interior D lineman. And then, just keep on going down. Like the linebackers, I think you can maybe keep DeMarco Jackson, but otherwise Noah Sewell's not going to be ready. TJ Edwards probably not going to be ready. I think Tremaine Edmonds.
TJ Edwards might not. Yeah, we got to cut Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, we didn't mention him. Those cap savings on him were the biggest. Like that was $15 million of cap savings. He's the most obvious cut I've ever seen. He can't tackle a soul. He's so bad at tackling. I think he's got to go. So yeah, we're talking, like I said, two new starting linebackers, 2 new starting D linemen, and then replacing Jaquan Brisker gives me 5 new starters, I think, on the defense next year, if I had to predict.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you wholeheartedly, honestly. I think that, Jaquan Brisker's got to go. Tremaine Edmonds is the easiest cap casualty I've seen. What do you think about Cole Kmet? You can save $9 million with Cole Kmet cut.
I think he just does too much in the run game. He kind of embodies like Ben Johnson. I think he really likes him as a player. And we use too much 2 tight end for that to make sense. Like he's making a good amount, but nothing too crazy to the point where it's like he's got to go.
He could probably be a restructure. He can be somebody who can push that little amount of money that he's making down the line and help the team out. He's a hometown guy as well. I think the Bears did right with his contract. I think at the time it was probably regarded as like a fair for him at his rate, but you could see how much more of an impact that Colston Loveland is on this team than he is. So 100%, I think Kmet would be down to restructure. I think he probably wants to stay here. I can't imagine them cutting him after just having the season that the Bears had this year, knowing that he's like a hometown guy and like puts his body on the line for this team. But I think he's definitely a guy who's probably going to get a restructured contract. Tremaine Edmonds is undoubtedly getting released this season. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I really don't even give a shit who we play at linebacker. Just give me some pass rushers. Literally throw DeMarco Jackson out there. You can't tell me that DeMarco Jackson didn't look just as good this year as Tremaine Edmonds. Very, very much, smaller snap count.
He looked better to me.
I mean, like, he's quicker. He's better in the passing game. Like he looked good last night against the tight ends. Lined up on some tight ends last night. He was breaking up balls. He's covering them better than Edwards and Edmonds were.
I think he's our best linebacker. Yeah, I couldn't even believe like Noah Sewell was starting over him for a little bit. Like Noah Sewell looked really, really bad. Obviously, unfortunately, towards Achilles. But like I think DeMarco Jackson should be a starter next year for sure. And then you got to get another one just because TJ Edwards' health. And then I wouldn't mind draft. I feel like it's been a while since we've drafted like a linebacker pretty high. Like obviously Ruben Hippolyte was just a disaster, but I'm talking like a legit like third round maybe selection, second round, third round selection. That kid from that went to Cleveland this year. I heard Ben Johnson was like really high on him, and so was Poles. Like imagine if he was on this team. Schlesinger, yeah. Obviously, I love Luther Burden and Trapillo. That's who we got in the second round, but if Carson Schlesinger was on this team, that would be really, really nice. Yeah. So,
well, we didn't have an opportunity of taking Schlesinger. He was the first pick in the second round, and I remember clowning him for that pick. I was like, really? Like I mean, it worked out. I mean, I think that he has a chance to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Like, I'm pretty sure
he's going to. I think.
Oh, really? You think he's going to? Wow. I mean, I know at one point he was the favorite, and it was towards the back end of the season. I didn't know how it shaped up. I think you might be a millionaire right now if you bet on Carson Schlesinger to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. But overall, yeah, I laughed at them for that pick, and that would be amazing. I don't see anything from Ruben Hippolyte. I didn't see anything from the small sample size that we got from him. More than likely a disaster if I had betting money on it. What about Shamar Turner though? Like, do you have any faith in that project moving forward?
Yeah, I think Shamar Turner is a good player. I just think he's like the Bears found out that he was more of a defensive end. It seemed like before he got injured, right? Like they moved him more to the end, and he was used mostly as a run stopper. So I don't think that bodes well for like what we intended to pick him as, which was an interior disruptor. And I think it really further pushes the point of how badly we need somebody on the inside. I feel like every single game this year that I checked, like the PFF grades, or I checked even just like the film, or even just watching the game, it's like we never have any push up the middle. Like our only chance of getting a sack has been Austin Booker off the edge or Montez Sweat like strip sacking somebody from behind. But there's never anybody up the middle. Grady Jarrett showed a little bit towards the end of the year, but yeah, like just the down to down basis, not having any push or disruption is really what hurt. And that's why I think like we really need to either draft interior D lineman at 25, or we got to trade that pick for. I prefer Jeffrey Simmons, to be honest, over any trade target. But anybody that's an interior disruptor would be nice.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I think that this defense is going to need. That's what's exciting. Like I feel like I thrive in the offseason when it comes to my content and everything. Like this is what I live for. I live for just like rebuilding these rosters up and seeing. I mean, obviously, especially when it comes to the Bears, like I die for free agency. Like we're probably only like 40 days away from free agency. Like it's right around the corner here. I'm super excited about it already.
It's nice how deep this Bears season took us. Usually we're like done a month ago.
Yeah, exactly. we already know, like we would be sitting here talking draft with you guys right now if we didn't make the playoffs for sure. We would already be deep into the prospects, which we're getting around to. But yeah, you have to go probably interior edge rusher at 25 if you're picking at 25. If you don't pull a trade off, complete defensive overhaul. I think we've covered all of our bases here, Ryan. Anything else that we want to touch on here? I mean, I know we talked about some of them were reserves. I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to, Shamar Turner, it just doesn't seem like it's going to work out in my eyes. It's like, it's just like already a massive ACL tear, wasn't having immediate impact from the jump. More than likely it just isn't going to work out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he can have some sort of impact, but yeah, I don't know. I think we need an overhaul defensive line, and I just kind of don't see him a part of that vision.
Yeah, I just think they need to like reprioritize what matters to them. Like I think they go way too much for like these like traitsy types of like tweener guys like Shamar Turners, the Zach Pickens, the Javon Dexters. You need guys that actually have had production, and like whether that's in the actual NFL, like Dayo Dengbo had no business getting that deal that he got. Like you need guys that have produced either in college, the NFL, that can actually show that they get pressure and that they get sacks at the end of the day. And so I'm not going to be very excited if like the interior pass rusher we take at pick 25 is like some guy that just has some crazy combine numbers, but doesn't actually affect the passer on a down to down basis. So that's why I don't really have faith in Poles or Dennis Allen in that respect. That's why I'm kind of hoping for a trade.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I know a lot of people have us taking Caden McDonald out of Ohio State.
He had like one sack this year, right?
I don't know. I haven't dove deep enough into his tape to truly know if it's a good pick or not. If he's a run stuffer, I'll probably be a little upset. We need pressure on the quarterback. Exactly. I mean, Tyleik Williams was known as like a run stuffing guy, and I seen him for the Lions make a lot of big plays this year. Like I had him as my number 5 defensive tackle coming out of the 2025 class, and I was mostly just putting him there because I was like, this guy is elite in the run game. Like this dude is gonna just shut down your running game. You're gonna throw him out there on first and second down goal line situations, and nobody's gonna get through him. But
Dude,
even he impressed me.
how about Byron Murphy for the Seahawks, man? Like I was just thinking about this recently because of how bad Rome has been lately. But like that pick in that draft, I still love Rome. I'm still a truther, but Jared Verse and Byron Murphy, those were two guys that I was like circling. Yep. I was mocking them to the Bears a lot. Like maybe it was via a trade down, not necessarily a pick 9, but I remember like being obsessed with those two guys, and those two dudes would be the best defensive player on our team, in my opinion, and would be so important, and would have made us like contenders. Like imagine if we had Jared Verse on this team instead of Rome Odunze, like nice cosmopolitan ad right there. But yeah, like if because Rome Odunze wasn't really a necessity for us this year. Like obviously we didn't know we'd get Loveland or Luther Burden, but like if you take him off the roster and you put Jared Verse on it, or you put Byron Murphy on it, we're probably going to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. Nothing you can do about it. Like you said, we're Rome truthers. You know, we're not super upset about the pick, but at the end of the day, I remember sitting there saying, and I was like, Verse is the only edge rusher I'll take at 9. The rest of them I want to trade back for. It was Latu and Turner. I said Jared Verse is the only one I'll take at 9. He was so clear and obviously the best.
Should have listened to Floofs.
Yeah. Did Floofs want him?
The Flooster, you know he did. He was such a Jared Verse guy. That's such a Floos pick. So is Byron Murphy, his 3 tech. We definitely went against what Floos wanted there.
Yeah, and most of the time that was a good thing, but in that moment, maybe not. I don't know. Like we said, we're Rome truthers, but I mean, I would not be upset if they went I don't know how many picks they have. I think they have 8 picks. I would not be upset if they went every single pick on defense. Genuinely, I wouldn't be upset.
I want them to. Maybe one pick on a receiver if you trade DJ, but yeah, otherwise I want them to.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it goes. One last question for you for the recap. Ben Johnson, phenomenal year. Give me one thing you want him to really hone in on going into next season offensively to make sure that the inconsistencies stop.
I think he just has to get better in short yardage. Like I think that was something that popped up throughout the entire season, not just yesterday. It's not just like a recency bias thing. I just don't think we were all that creative in terms of like what we did on 3rd and short, 4th and short. I thought we didn't use Caleb really that much at all, like especially his legs. Like he's reaching 20 miles per hour on so many runs, and he's impossible to tackle. So I just think Ben Johnson needs to like understand that he's not coaching Jared Goff anymore. He's coaching like a dual threat quarterback, and I think he needs to use Caleb's legs a little bit more, and especially in those short yardage situations, because if we could just convert 1 or 2 more of those, we're probably on our way to Seattle for the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you. I think my 2 biggest things that I want him to work on offensively is 1, the short yardage situations. It's terrible. Like it's either like some gimmick play where it's like we're gonna snap the ball to Kyle Monungai, or we're gonna do end arounds, and we're maybe the receiver is gonna throw it, or it's like these long progression handoffs where you're running like 6 yards backwards, and Kyle Monungai's got to run for 1 yard, and like those do really work well with Monungai when it's like 1st and 10, because they're not, they're playing for the option of run or pass. When it's 4th and 1. And they're really honing in on the run, that's where it gets stuffed every time. Because I mean, he has to get in 6 yards. I mean, it was bad all year long. Second thing that I really want him to hone in on, goal to go situations, which I guess also work in
short yardage.
Talk about like short yardage as well, but you get that extra 10 yards working with the end zone. Not great. Not great this year. It was very disappointing this year. We didn't get it, in my opinion, creative enough. Too many misses. I feel like there was just too much going on constantly at the goal line, and we didn't punch in. I mean, last night we saw it as well. Like it's just too much is going on. I feel like these should be gimmies, and they've been turned into tougher than they need to be.
Yeah, I feel like they've too often been turned into like impossible Caleb plays, like not just the insane throw yesterday that was on fourth down, but even in that first quarter, remember, or was second quarter maybe our first touchdown, where he threw it off his back foot, like contested over the middle on fourth and short. So
Yeah.
nothing's easy, and surprisingly, no offensive lineman touchdowns. Also, like that's something that needs to change, in my opinion. I would have put a lot of money on an offensive lineman touchdown if that was a prop bet this year, and I don't even think we got close to one. So. Yeah, got to get more creative in that situation.
Maybe if Theo Benedict caught that ball last night, we'd. You
That was
remember
so
them
dumb.
throwing that?
Yeah.
Oh, I was pissed when he threw it. So what are you doing, dude? Just throw it at his feet. Do not throw it to this.
He almost tipped it up for a pick. That would have killed me.
That would have crushed me. What are you doing throwing to him? I mean, I get it. He's open. Like, he is an option. But, like, come the fuck.
What is Ben Johnson doing there? Like, why is he in the flat? Like, what even is that?
He must have seen that Theo got like 16 miles per hour on that one route that he ran against the Packers. And he was like, we're going to throw Theo out there and see what he can do in the open field. He's a tight end.
Might as well.
Well, all right. Season in the wraps. Unfortunately, it was a fun one, but a tough way to go out. We were so close, Ryan. Hopefully, we'll be back next year. We got to avoid the regression. For all the regression people out there, let me tell you this. Can we give it the offseason? At least, like, that's like always my favorite thing about it is, like, first off, regression when, like, with these uprising teams, regression was never talked about with these up-and-coming teams until we watched the Lions regress and the Commanders regress. And now if you're a young up-and-coming team who plays in these one-score games, it's like automatic, like, oh, my God, you're garbage.
Vikings too.
Regression. Yeah, the Vikings as well. Like, oh, my God, automatic, like, you're going to regress. It's coming. Bears were 8-5. Bears were 8-5 in one-score games.
We can't be like the Buffalo Bills or the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs. We just have to be Washington. I agree.
Like it blows my mind that we're having this conversation in January when we haven't even had the draft. We haven't even had any free agent moves. Like, I could understand regression talks. They did win a lot of tight ones and some weird ones this year with a lot of magic. I could understand having that conversation. But can we let the offseason happen first? Like, can we see what – I mean, if the Bears run it back with this defense, you're fucking right. I'm not picking them to win the division. Like, you're damn right. Like, it would take a massive – I mean, we're talking like a top 3 jump from Caleb Williams with this exact roster for them not to regress in my eyes. Like, they need to get better. And I do think that this offense is going to get better alone just going off of year 1 to year 2 in the system. I do think that this is going to be the worst that this unit has played. But the only reason that we had defensive success this year was mostly based on taking the ball away. That's what really needs to change. They need to overhaul this roster, or I do think we're going to see regression. So let's give it the offseason, people. Like, let's not rush into that. Also, the Broncos are 12-2 in one-score games this year. 12-2. We're 8-5. That's what they're always like, oh, all they do is win one-score games. We're literally 8-5. We played every single good team this year tight, or we beat them.
And the Patriots had the easiest schedule since, like 1960? I don't think anybody's going to call the Patriots the regression candidate or the Broncos, like you said. They just don't like the Bears, man.
They just hate the Bears. So let's pause the regression talks until the offseason. We'll talk then. Me and Ryan, I guarantee we're going to have a lot of Bears videos coming out this year and a lot of rookie videos. We do our Dynasty videos as well, but I know that me and Ryan and Lucas even are going to hop on and do some, like, I plan on doing like 5 Bear mock drafts on this channel, and I know Ryan's going to want to get his hands on those for sure.
Definitely including me on at least one of those.
You'll be invited to every single one, all right?
Let's go. I'm ready.
All right,
it's mock draft season.
Oh, I know. I woke up this morning in a great mood. I was like, it's prospect time, boys. Send me all your defensive tackle, all 22 clips. Send me all your edge rusher, all 22 clips, everybody. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, though. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.